Today, Precarious plays
Zone of the Enders. Well, A.D.A, this is it.
Yeah?
This is the other disc in the Zone of the Enders box.
Zone of the Enders 2.
No.
Sons of Zone of the Enders.
Zoners Trial Edition. Zoners.
So, what? I mean, I guess it's the George Washington Bridge, but...
Right, this is a trial for Metal Gear Solid 2, which was a hotly anticipated title at the time. Mm-hmm. We are watching the opening cutscene for Metal Gear Solid 2 right now.
Yeah.
It's a very stylish cutscene. I'm not sure if it is the final cut of it.
But it was the trial edition that was included with Zone of the Enders.
Yes, and it is my intention to play the entire thing because they thought it was important that it was included. They thought it was so important that it was included to sell this game that I mean, visually, the logo is significantly smaller. The icon on the front of the box that declares the inclusion of the demo is smaller, but it is above the logo. So in a sense, it has top billing.
It's like putting Elsa on a box of Cheerios that are still just regular Cheerios. But they're the Elsa Cheerios.
It's a bit like that. And since you were sort of dissatisfied with Zone of the Enders, right?
Yeah,
it's fair to say that?
I don't think that it was great.
Do you feel like it is exploitative that this was included?
I don't know if that's fair. I do think that it helps, though.
And you've never played as Solid Snake, have you? You've just played as Big Boss.
No, I've played as Big Boss, yeah.
Yeah.
This is really stylish. Well, it's there, it's always... Come on, it's Metal Gear, man. Like...
Yeah. Now, this is a level of technology in the series that you're probably unfamiliar with. He's using optical camouflage that was invented... I'm gonna go ahead and play it safe and say appropriated by Otacon in Metal Gear Solid 1. This is a very famous scene. It's very cool.
He's just bungeeing onto this boat from the George Washington Bridge.
Right.
That's so...
In a rainstorm.
That's so, like, BA. Like, that's like, oh... Nobody's like invisible fucking Spider-Man just, like, slinging his ass out there. That's awesome.
Honestly, I think that the reason why it was included, why he's using optical camouflage, just because the bungee cord would give him away, and this is not an appropriate environment for the optical camouflage to do its thing, because I'm pretty sure that the rain will still bounce off of his physical body.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it was included so that way, if people brought it up, they were like, why isn't he using the optical camouflage? They could introduce it and then deprive the player of it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I am, I think, pretty happy with Zone of the Enders 1, and now that it's done, and I think it was incredibly exploitative.
Yeah.
Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Exploitative?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Exploitative.
It's either exploitative or exploitative.
Yeah. Well, I don't often have to talk about people
exploitation.
People being douchebags.
Isn't
like
the
this.
first world nice sometimes? Oh, so speaking about this, in comparison...
Wait a second, I just realized what you said. I don't normally have to discuss it because I just act on it. If I see someone being exploited, I just do a thing if I am able to, not... Jeez. Okay. Look, you can move the codec call around with the sticks, the analog
neat.
sticks.
I guess the way that I feel about Zone of the Enders is that the more it talks, the less cool I think it is. The more it tries to say so. It's like a stereotypically attractive person that is just worthlessly stupid, and you're just like, just shh, Baby, shh, it's okay. You look nice. Just stay there. Keep it shut.
Yeah, I get it.
And then I think that this is like the brains showing up here. So you think that they packaged this together just to sell that other game?
Yep.
Well, I mean, that's... I don't know. Like, that would make me think that the game that I was buying was probably too weak to stand on its own.
I wonder if it
Backfired.
was. What? What do you mean backfired?
Yeah, if you... Well, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't backfire. But if I see something that is...
Oh, I see what you mean. Like, if you thought that people had been more savvy, excuse me. If people had been more savvy at the time, and if they had analyzed it correctly, it could have backfired.
Seen it, yeah.
Yes.
I wonder if it did. I don't know how well this game sold or anything.
Well enough to get Zone of the Enders 2, right?
Right, yeah.
I mean, well enough, I guess.
I wonder if the plan was always to use Zone of the Enders 1 to make a demo of this game available, and it was like a chance to demonstrate what a Zone of the Enders game could be like, and then they really developed it for Zone of the Enders 2 because it did well enough.
I don't know. I don't know why they would need to do that, because Metal Gear Solid, I mean to say, was such a big deal that they could have just put Hideo Kojima's name on anything and that's what they did.
That's what they did, and they got lucky, and then they got a second game.
I guess.
A chance to do it right, to do it really well.
And it's so important to the franchise, I'd say, because Zone of the Enders HD collection...
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. I hope I'm not making this up.
Oh my god.
It had a demo for Metal Gear Rising.
Oh my god, did it? Oh
yeah.
My god, I need to check that. We have to check that. Oh my god, that is so funny. That is so funny.
Let me see if I remember how to play Metal Gear Solid 2.
Do you think that they did that as a knowing joke, or do you think they did that as like... Why on earth? Well, you know. Because you know, if you're getting the Zone of the Enders HD collections because you like Zone of the Enders, so you don't need Solid Snake to prop up your Zone of the Enders anymore.
And it was Metal Gear Rising, so I think it was just sort of a joke, because Metal Gear Rising doesn't feature Snake. It wasn't like a remake. That would have been brilliant if it had been, if Zone of the Enders HD collection had a demo for specifically the Metal Gear Solid 2's portion of the HD collection. Because we have both. We have both of the HD collections for that. We have the full game of this, you know.
Yeah, I know. I just haven't played it yet. I don't know if it's going to be something I play or not. We were actually talking about this the other day, where I sort of have... There are just certain games that catch my attention better than others. And, you know, it's a pretty wimpy list when I start thinking about it. But, there are games that I mentally come back to, and if I do that enough, it suddenly becomes like imperative that I play it. Like, I did not play Bayonetta when it first came out. And we had a copy in the house for a while. And I wanted to play it, and you know... Like,
I forgot about this.
Oh, Jeebus. Ooh, he's spraying. You should put a lid on that.
No, you should finish your story so that way I can introduce to you very quickly what's happening here, because we talked over the whole thing.
Okay. Anyways, I finally played Bayonetta, but I didn't play Bayonetta until after I had played Bayonetta 2. And Bayonetta is an example of a series that I always come back to, like, to think about playing. And I also like to think about playing different Metal Gear Solid games, because I think that the lore is very interesting, and my brain chugs away at it without being prompted by advertising. Summarized.
Me? My turn?
Your turn. Your turn. Go.
Right. After the end of Metal Gear Solid 1, the plans for Metal Gear Rex wound up just making their way to most people.
Most people.
Yeah, I think they'd sort of describe it as a schematic that you could probably just Google.
Oh.
Or, I don't know, AOL search.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if it's the Navy or the Marines. I can't remember who has a model of their own on this tanker. But Snake needs to take pictures of it and put them on the internet to, I think, prove its existence. Like that, it's a relatively simple mission, you know? Take pictures of the Metal Gear Ray prototype.
Not destroy it, not overthrow a foreign government, just take a fucking picture and get it to the internet.
Right. But, as fate would have it, and by fate I mean Hideo Kojima, as the story director would have it, another group much more aggressively decides to try to take the Metal Gear Ray prototype by force.
So now you're in a shitstorm.
Yeah.
Welcome to the shitstorm. It's storming and it's raining right now and it's pooping everywhere.
Welcome back tomorrow, and yes, we did just do an entire episode that was just watching the cutscene to the trial of Metal Gear Solid 2. Of course we did. It was in the box, and I'm getting my money's worth, damn it. What?
Okay, great.